All right. For those joining on YouTube, welcome. Thank you. You enjoyed this. No. Sorry. Yeah, we're gonna, which end of chapter. Ah, yes, it ended right on the with the Reina is ticked off. Reina's about to cut a fool. Theme in E minor. Oh my goodness. Hi, Sophie. Locke doesn't need any more numbers. Oh, you're talking about Kasai-san. Oh wait, okay, no, it's Shion speaking. That's okay, but it's just demonstrating that we're from perspective. Okay. Oh, you're talking about Kasai-san. He's Shion's watchdog. Our watchdog? Really? Yeah, he is. Shion tends to do crazy things, so she needs to have someone watch her all the time. I think you're as crazy as Shion. Keiichi-kun cut into the conversation. They end up making a lot of noise, teasing each other like they always do. Mion made it sound sort of like that man, Kasai-san, as some sort of territory boss in Okonomiya. It wouldn't be easy for me to meet him in person. But because he's Shi-chan's watchdog, I might be able to find a way. The problem, though, that I don't have any connection to Shi-chan either. I hang around every once in a while whenever she comes to Hinamizawa, but I've never called or visited her. I have no idea how we can meet. Even if I could meet Kasai-san, no guarantee that he'd help me. He seems like the kind of guy who doesn't like to gossip about others. He told me that Rina-san at the coffee house told me about Rina-san at that coffee house only because Shi-chan pushed him to. That's right. The girlfriend slash witch who's trying to steal all of Papa Reina's money is, as a... Oh my gosh, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs, Sophie. Thank you so much. Oh my... Thank you so much, Lock and Love. Thank you both so much. I really appreciate that. Everyone that got a sub, please enjoy your emotes. Yeah, yeah. Y'all just wanted to hear the coffin dance in Nyan, the Nyan version of the coffee dance music, didn't you? Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for the 785 bits. Thank you very so much. Uh uh so much. Uh although that reminds me, one of the individuals that got gifted the subs, so as someone noticed this or whatever when it was going by, but the the Rift Tracks bot that keeps an eye to make on to read like when people are voting on chat for Twitch integration purposes or whatever. The the Rift Tracks bot ended up getting one of the gifted subs that was given. It was oh, I found that very fun. Thank you very much for the 420 bits. Well done. Yes, the Rift Tracks bot can use the Cobalt emotes. Uh, although I'm by that does make me curious about uh if potential other occasions where I'm sure it's probably happened elsewhere that the Rift Trucks bot has like gotten some gifted subs. It must have happened a couple times. Sure. That's funny. Hello, fish. One of my fishies was swimming, kept on swimming towards me, right towards me or whatever. It's very vehemently, or at least in my direction. So it was. Uh, uh. So again, I will try to get some of those fish photos, some new ones tomorrow. Get the new fish. They don't look as good as some of, especially like don't look as are a bit side, um, because they are newly introduced or whatever. They like some I got in the mail, so but they color up. They'll color up fine. Thank you very much for that fluid check, and thank you very much for the lurk. Uh, all right. Thus, situation could grow worse very quickly while I waited for the chance to meet him. And any help he might offer would come too late. I remember Kasai-san told me that as our next step, Mina-san usually uses her partner to threaten their catch. That would signify the end of her performance. We're going to take all of my father's money. I wasn't feeling a sense of crisis yet. That time might be coming very soon. Even I was at school, taking a class peacefully. That man might already be at the house right this moment, threatening my father to hand over his bank books. Once I became anxious, got more and more anxious. I could feel a big pressure on my chest, as if the ceiling had collapsed on me. Keiichi, you have excellent timing in your comments. You truly do. You just magnificent creature. Man, I'm so bored. My life is too peaceful. Keiichi-kun talks to me, yawning. Is that so bad? Love to have a peaceful life that bore me. I don't. Wish some kind of a big event would happen, like aliens coming to attack us or something. Not saying I'd like to have something like that every week, but at least at the end of every month or so. Well, listen. Okay, this place takes place in 83, so, Keiichi, just wait 37 years. Just wait 37 years. You will not be disappointed. uh, oh, and that doesn't include our monthly test. Aliens really did come, destroyed the Earth, and burned all of Hinamizawa. Would you be satisfied? Would you? No, that's not what I meant. I'm just saying that I want for some kind of excitement because I'm so bored. He had no idea of what I've been going through, of course. That's why he says that. But I was still irritated by his insensitivity. I didn't understand why he wouldn't be satisfied with such a peaceful life. He never has to doubt that today and tomorrow will be as fun as yesterday. I was all too aware that boring and peaceful days could be destroyed all of a sudden. I knew that boring and peaceful days could come to an end all of a sudden because your mom wanted to divorce your dad. I knew that you could feel like you didn't belong anywhere in your own house because your dad had gotten a new girlfriend. And so, you had to repeat the same kind of day over and over again. That's why I want to live every day happily in order to be prepared when the world comes to its end. I'm jealous of you, you know? Look so happy all the time. I wish I had that kind of skill. You're jealous of me, huh? Oh wait, no, I had it reversed. Darn it! Because neither of their mouths were open until the... Okay, work with me. Don't have little boxes indicating which and... How do you do it? How do you live every day not being bored, but being happy? It really is a skill. I'd love to learn how. It's easy. All you need to do is to realize. Standing here, I realize that you were just... Okay, stop setting me up for that, okay? Please. Realize what? There's no way he could realize it. It was probably better that he didn't, because that meant he was truly happy. Just need to realize, your happy days will one day come to an end. The three of us walked home from school like we always did. Michan said goodbye to us at the corner of the street, where she took her separate way home. We walked away, waving. I chased after her. Okay, Locket Loan. You enjoy your lurk. Thank you very much. Michan. Hmm? What? Michan apparently thought she dropped something. She looked around to see what she dropped. I almost forgot to tell you. I saw Shi-chan and Kasai-san yesterday at a coffee house. I picked up something that Kasai-san dropped while he was there. Of course, he hadn't dropped anything. I was lying. I could meet him. I'd just show him whatever. I thought it was his and apologize for my mistake. Oh. Well, thank you then. I'll send it over to him in that case. I'd like to give it back to him in person. Eh? Michan looked surprised. Couldn't blame her. I'd met him only once. It's weird to want to give something back in person to someone you barely know. Well, that's alright. But why? Oh, oh. He had this cute beard and these cute sunglasses. So crazy about cute things. Oh. Did I fudge my true intentions with my cute mode? She's self-aware. Of course she is. Seriously, among the characters, the question of, like... Let's see, between Reina and Rika... Seriously, which of those two is, like... is knows things and stuff. It's creepy level or whatever. Have like their they've taken some of that Dune, you know, spice melange and gave the prescience whatever. The Dune, not psychic powers, but kind of, sort of. Or something. Something like that. He tried it anyway. Michan usually takes word at their face value. Indeed, she seemed to buy it. Please, don't pull out his beard and take it home with you. So, do you think I can meet him? Well, I have no idea if he's busy or not. I'll ask him when he's coming to Hinamizawa next. I needed to know when as soon as possible. Of course, I wasn't going to say I wanted to meet him today, but at least tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. What are you guys doing? Seems like Reina found a new love. No. Oh. Really? How interesting. I want to hear about it too. Didn't want her to leave it up in the air. I told her I think I should give it back to him as soon as possible. Sure he's looking for it too. Michan said okay twice and walked away, waving. I hadn't yet thought about how I was going to ask for help when I would meet him. Seems to be in a higher position than Rina-san and her partner. He agreed to help me. Be very encouraging. But there was a possibility that he'd tell me he didn't want to interfere in other people's private matters. Could just say the whole thing was another love triangle between a father, his daughter, and his lover. Bye, Reina. See you tomorrow. Yeah, see you tomorrow. I said goodbye to Keiichi-kun and walked home alone. After Keiichi-kun was gone, everything went quiet. My head became clear. When I needed at that moment, the quiet time to think about what I should do from then on. I shouldn't depend on Kasai-san to solve my problem. He'd most likely decline my request, so I have to think about some alternatives. Probably better that I just do that. A love triangle between a father, his daughter, and his lover. Those words bothered me, because I've seen an unhappy triangle like that before. Sort of thing that happened to Satoshi-kun. Satoshi experienced it last year. Fought for his sister in a triangle with his aunt. It was the same situation as mine. Trying to fight to protect my father. Satoshi fought alone. Nobody helped him. All I did for him was give him my sympathy and compassion. I didn't think I could do anything more than that. Felt sorry for him. I didn't really help him out. Responsibly, I tried to cheer him up, and I probably told him something that I thought would make him feel better. That hurt him instead. I recently realized how much I hurt him with my insensitivity, because Keiichi just hurt me the same way. Going down the same path Satoshi went last year. I feel like I'm experiencing deja vu. I've just been in this place before, deja vu. Sorry. But on a serious note, going down on the same path as Satoshi. We know alternatively that Keiichi obviously did the same thing. And two of the scenarios, let's say. I think that's a clue. Because we are looking for Blue's Clues. Yeah, Nick, please. Stop. Dang it, things from childhood burned into my brain. I feel like I'm experiencing deja vu. Usual repetition. That mean that I'd be the one who gets demoned away this year? Should be okay. Wasn't thinking about running away from Hinamizawa. Was I? Wasn't thinking about running away from Hinamizawa. I thought about running away from home many times. That's why I made the place I could escape to in the garbage dump. That dump happened to be in Hinamizawa. But if it wasn't? Oh, thank you for the fluid check, Foxglove. And thank you for joining. Shouldn't think like that. Please, Shiro-sama will get mad at me. Please, Shiro-sama is really scary. I saw flickering lights in my head. No. Every time I tried to remember that time, my mind would stop working properly. I remembered the vivid colors of my psychoactive drugs. Flickering lights and clouds started spreading in my head. So bright and annoying. Try too hard to remember. No. Stop the flickering lights in my head. I couldn't have that feeling. To fill my heart with another feeling. No time for these crazy flickering lights in my head. I had to think about what I should do when Kasai-san declined my request for help. I to protect my father from Rina-san and that bad man. Wait, was I still calling her that? As Rina. Rina. She's a bad person who deceived my father. Tried to bring us unhappiness. Bad people bring bad things into the world without even doing anything. Different from the other 90% of people who aren't bad. How wild would it be if one of these days you got isekai'd? I guess it depends on to the extent the scenario of the isekai. Like what type of world and what type of situation I would be in. It would be like that time I got reincarnated as a slime, or like Rise of a Shield Hero. Or then there's Tanya the evil. That really depends. Oh, all my new fishies that swam over just saying hi to me. But you'd obviously get hit by a truck or something. Actually, there are other ways that people have done it in things. The classic is Truck-kun. That there is the just randomly getting transported. That is an option. And Slime, he gets stabbed. I bet Truck-kun is much more preferable to stab. Stabby stab. Okay, I need to stop getting distracted by my new fish. They're being really cute. Anyway. And yes, I will take pictures for input tomorrow. You let them loose. They'll even ruin the people around them. You have one bad tangerine in a box. Spread its fungus to the other tangerines around it. I bet that's what bad people are like. I know. Ahem. I couldn't remember how Satoshi-kun resolved his triangle last year. I could still see the flickering lights in my head. Still flickering. Still flickering. Still flickering. Still flickering. Still flickering. Still flickering. Just as the swirl of flickering lights were making me dizzy, I saw my house. I also saw Rina-san's scooter parked by the side of the gate. The moment I saw the bike, the flickering lights disappeared and I regained control of myself. Rina spent the night last night. She told me she had to work today in the evening, so she should be leaving soon. I didn't want to be around her, even for a little while until she left. I said, "I'm home," real loud, rushed into the house, pretended my friends were waiting outside, and rushed out of the house. But Rina-san stopped me. Does she know that we know? Hey, Rina-chan, you're home. Hello. This was the first time I thought Rina-san's smile was ugly. It only stood to reason. I'd realized the scheme she was hiding behind the smile. Your father and I went to Gogura for lunch today. There's a restaurant there that makes delicious Indian curry. My father poked his head out of the living room and he says, I want to go there again next time we go. I really like that curry. I wondered if he meant with me next time, or with me and her. Anyway, I hate it when Rina-san says, your father. We bought you some curry home from the restaurant. Try it later. It's very good. Have you heard of the restaurant, Reina-chan? I did know the restaurant she was talking about. I saw it in a magazine. It's a new restaurant that just opened recently. I also remember that it was an expensive restaurant. The amount of money they spent on the take-home curry alone must have been enough to cover the cost of all our dinners for several nights. Since I was aware of what was in the bank books, it's hard for me to stay calm. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Rina-san. Reina-chan, your father and I would like to talk about something with you. Sorry, my friends are waiting for me, so I have to go. Oh, we're going to go treasure hunting at the garbage dump again. Really like treasure hunting, huh? I'd like to go there sometime. Well, I've got to go. Bye. Every time Rina-san moved her arms or head, the scent of her perfume struck my nostrils. I hate the smell of her perfume, so I couldn't stay there a second longer. I rushed out of the house, started running to get away from her perfume. The rubber band inside me, the one called Reina, was stretched all the way to its limit. Pretty sure I'd explode and go crazy if the rubber band broke. I didn't want to feel like that inside my own house. My house was supposed to be the place where I could open my heart freely. I ran away. I ran away from there. I ran farther and farther away from there because it was no longer a place I belonged. It's not that I had a destination in mind. I was just running away. I was running to escape to a place where I did belong. Go back to where you once belonged. Go to man without him. I decide to fight against that woman. I decide to fight against her either by myself or with my father. But then, once I saw her fake smile, a chill ran up my back. It was like I picked up a stone, found a carpet of bugs underneath it, and put it back on the ground in a hurry. I rushed out of the house as fast as I could. Did I want to fight? Did I want to run away? Was I just choosing to spend a peaceful time at my hideout, believing that tomorrow would be the same as today? I couldn't do that. I didn't know when they'd spring their trap. I couldn't afford to waste any time. I knew that deep down. I knew that, but I just wanted to run away. I couldn't stop myself from running away. And so I did run away. Times like this, the mattress in my hideout would feel so soft that I knew. Cries of the Higurashi were soothing to the ears. They sounded as soft as my mattress. They were like music. They didn't force any feelings upon me. They cried as if to tell me to just be who I am. It's always so quiet here that I immediately noticed the purr of an engine coming closer. People used to come here and make a lot of noise during the dam conflict, but now, nobody really comes here. This is a place forgotten. So it was rare to see somebody come through here at all. I sat on the roof of an abandoned car and waited for the intruder to go away without looking their way. The purr of the engine stopped. Not stupid. It stopped. I knew exactly who it had to be. I heard the person calling me, but I ignored it once. The person came closer, making it harder for me to ignore. She called my name again, turned around this time. Marina-san. Marina-san. Marina-chan, are you hard of hearing? I'm sorry, I guess I couldn't hear you because of the wind. She seemed to buy my poor excuse. Smiled and said, yeah, it happens sometimes. You here alone? Who's your friend? I'm playing here alone. Well, it's rare for a girl your age to play alone. Rina-san stretched and looked across the huge garbage dump. Can't believe people throw so much scrap out here. Do you know there used to be a place where people threw tons of abandoned cars without wheels? It was near Hirosaka. Wasn't interested in Rina-san's old story, but I pretended to listen and nodded. She doesn't take this road to go back to Okinomiya. Guess she knew I'd be here and came by to see me. What did she want? It's obvious that she was just trying to make conversation. Does she know that... Does Rina know that... Does Rina knows that she's out to steal her papa's money? Probably took it personally when I avoided her earlier. Must be why she was here to butter me up. Would be better for her not to have any conflicts with the daughter of the man she's seeing, no matter what the intention of seeing him is. In that sense, it was a reasonable action for her to take. While I listened to her old story, all I could think about was when she was going to leave. Didn't I have to fight against her? Didn't I decide to fight against her? Didn't I find out her plot at the coffee house in Okinomiya? Didn't I find out that this woman is squeezing money out of my father when I looked inside his cash box? I know who you are. Please leave my father alone. How easy it would be if those two sentences could solve the problem. She'd probably deny it. And if I told her about what I heard at the coffee house, I have no evidence of her plot. She said she did it because the vulgar man was threatening her. Would be nothing I could do. But I know this woman is a bad person. I know something horrible will happen in the near future if I waste time like this. Just one moment. Okay. Hot water is done heating up. The tea is steeping. Now I forgot which windows do I need? Oh, here we go. Knew something horrible will happen in the near future if I waste time like this. Strange, tense feelings started coming over me. But I didn't know how to let it out. Shout, shout, let it all out. As the feelings started running high, I began unable to stand the smell of her perfume. Wanted to put a certain distance between me and her, so I climbed down the slope of the scrap heap. Kept going down and down, slopes of the garbage dump. When I turned around, I saw her coming down as well, muttering, "Is she following me?" After I went away from her, I started running down the slope all the way to the bottom. Went around behind some trash piles and arrived at the front of my hideout. My escape was meaningless. Not only was she going to catch up with me eventually, all I did was let her know the way to my hideout that nobody is supposed to know about. Wanted to make sure she never saw my precious hideout. About to leave, but then she appeared. Wow, this is cool. It's like a secret base. It's my secret hideout. Nobody comes here and nobody can hear us. Felt strange, hearing myself say that. Feel like that's dangerous. Someone to say that in this game. No one can hear us. So this is your secret hideout, huh? Honored to be invited here. She must have thought I told her my secret, because she was worth sharing it with. She looked happy. She found the station wagon, looked inside of it through the window, and went all ooh and ah excitedly. This is a secret place that nobody else knows. Felt like my consciousness was separating from my body, like I was floating. But it didn't feel good. Like when I drink amazake. It was more like being car sick. Felt like I was going to throw up. My brain was probably secreting some chemical in order to avoid facing the reality I'd have to stay with this woman, that I couldn't run away from her. But even if my brain tried to avoid recognizing it, reality in front of me wouldn't change. Reina-chan. Yes? What's wrong? You feeling okay? Yes, I'm fine. I inhaled fresh air and pulled my consciousness back to reality. Back to reality. Oh, to humanity. I didn't feel like throwing up anymore. I still felt off balance. I leaned onto a scrap of garbage to keep my balance. I like you, Reina-chan. Do you like me? What are you talking about all of a sudden? I said that because I didn't want to say that I like her. I've been seeing your father for quite a long time now, and we've been talking about many things, you know? You need to stop feeling like this. Get up, Reina. I'd heard something like this before. Part of me was trying to understand what this woman was trying to say. Another part of me was trying not to. She's gonna talk about a marriage, isn't she? So we think Reina's gonna kill him. Is Reina gonna flat out take this chick out when she mentions it? I felt as if her words were bouncing around in my head. I started having a headache. We had a serious talk about our future the other day. You know, about our life together and so on. What? Like Uncle Akihito, don't you, Reina? Your father and I are... What's going on? Mother? You thinking about Reina Ryugu? It's an important moment. You're about to have a one-on-one battle with Rina-san. No, Mom. What about my dad? What about me? I don't want you to divorce him. I don't want you to get remarried to anybody else. No, please don't divorce him. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you get remarried. I'm not going to let you get married to my father. What? Don't care if you go out with him, but I'm not going to let you get married to my father. She must have not thought that I'd say it straight out like that. She looked stunned. After a while, she broke the silence with her laughter. I thought you might reject me, but I didn't think you'd say it straight out like that. You thought I might reject you? I'm surprised you even noticed that I was doing it. Of course I did. You always ran away whenever you saw me. You thought I didn't know? That's why I hate kids. She frowned, revealing her ugly self. It should have been the first time I saw her face like that. But I wasn't surprised at all. Her face had looked like that to me from the beginning. I wanted to get along with you if I could, at least on the surface. But I guess it's hard to do that now since you hate me so much. What do you hate about me? I'd like to know for future reference. Everything. I hate everything about you. I hate your smell, too. One vicious word came out from my mouth after another. I didn't have wings, but I felt as if I was flying up to the sky. I felt weird and uncomfortable, but also exhilarated. I felt as if I was letting another me use my body. I was in the middle of a disastrous battlefield, but I felt like it wasn't even my business. That's just fine with me, because I hate you too. I guess we're even. You little fucking brat. Better shut your fucking mouth or I'll make you. Never come to my house again. I'll never let you get married to my father. I don't need your permission, you know. Well, why don't you try and stop your father from remarrying? Let's see what happens. I think you're wasting your time, though. You didn't look intimidated by me at all. That made me feel a little intimidated in return. Why was she so confident of her absolute control over my father? She had to have more than confidence to be able to act as fearless as this. She must have something tangible. Before I asked her what it was, she told me herself. I'm pregnant. You're lying. I'm not lying. It's true. It's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. It's a big lie. She asked a divorce because she got pregnant. She has to get married and because she got pregnant. That's a lie. That's a big lie. I'm a Christian, so I can't get an abortion. I just have to accept it. Plus, we had sex with marriage in mind. He made me pregnant. He changes his mind and takes no responsibility. It's going to be a big mess, you know? That was your plan, wasn't it? I overheard it. I heard the conversation you had with that man, Techon, at the coffee house. I know you started seeing my father for his money. I know you call him your husband in Hinamizawa. I know he's just a big catch for you. I know everything because I heard it from Kasai-san. I know you do Badger games too. Oh, you knew. Well, well, well. Before I knew it, Rena was standing right in front of me. We glared at each other with our faces almost touching. So, Rena-chan, you know everything. What are you thinking you're going to do? Don't get near my father ever again. What if I refuse? You wanted to talk to me at your secret hideout, right? I kinda knew what you wanted to talk to me about. You brought me to your secret hideout, where nobody knows and nobody can hear us, right? Welcome back, Pyro. Yes. Luck and Load, he gave you the sub. He went gift sub crazy while you were on, so enjoy your emotes. Yeah, you're right. Nobody knows about this place and nobody can hear us. Nobody comes here because it's a place forgotten. Our faces were so close to each other that our noses could almost touch. I knew what I was talking about, but I didn't know what would happen next. Alright, I seriously can't remember exactly if this is how this plays out or whatever when I watched the anime years ago. So we do want to bet if she kills her next, or does she wait to kill her? Or does she Listen, this is Higurashi. At this point we know. Chick gonna get killed. We know this witch with the capital B is gonna get axed somehow. That's how this game works. But the question is Reina just gonna frickin' like just kill this chick now, or is she gonna wait? She gonna go Lizzie Borden mode, just Lizzie Borden mode now or later? Should I take a poll? I'm tempted to. Let's do it. Let's see. Oh crap. Hold on. All right. Okay. Oh wait, this is actually a prediction thing. So, you can actually bet channel points. You have 1 minute. She getting killed? Is Reina, the witch with the capital B, getting killed now? Or later? Now as in, like, now / next few minutes or whatever. Or later as in later. Do. Now this has become like, this is now the Higurashi version of Jeopardy music. do. All right. All right. We're now gonna find out. Let's see who is the winner. I couldn't back down that I'd come to this point, but I didn't know what to do. Didn't know what I should do. Come on, let's not do this. Let's be friends again. Rena started laughing and slapped me on the back. My expression didn't change, and I kept staring at Rena. I didn't notice her real intention of putting both her arms around my neck. The tension broke, already stretched thin, and Rena squeezed my neck hard. I was openly hostile, but I didn't realize his evil intentions until she started choking me. Oh crap, it may happen. First, at this point, then it's gonna be self-defense. You little brat. So close to getting millions of yen. If you at least pretended to get along with me, I would have given you a good allowance. You just can't keep your mouth shut, can you? Got some nerve. A brat like you should die. I tried to pry her hands off my neck, but I didn't have the strength to do so. I didn't want to kill you, but I'll probably never get as big a chance as your father again. Never get as big a catch as your father again, so I don't mind killing you for millions of yen. I was going to disappear after I got that money anyway. This is what you get for talking back to me. The world around me got darker and darker. I had never known an evil intention like this, namely the intention to kill me. It didn't scare me though. That's because being scared is a feeling that people use to express how they feel when they see wildfire on the other side of a river. People on the island with the wildfire with their deaths right in front of them, they don't get scared. If I loosened my grip on her hands even a little bit, she'd crush my throat. This was a simple competition to see who was stronger. Rena wanted to get into the most advantageous position, so she tried to push me down to the ground so she could mount me. If I let her do that, I wouldn't stand a chance. I tried to keep my current position, but I was losing a lot of energy by being choked. It was only a matter of time before Rena could push me down. I lost my balance on purpose. I tried to fall backwards in order to put her off balance. I didn't hold my breath long enough to keep up that strength competition, so I had no choice but to take that chance. We fell on the ground, tangled together. But as Rena was strong, she determined to kill me. She didn't even take her hands away from my neck after she fell. However, my action made Rena loosen her grip on my throat. It wasn't loose enough for me to break free from her grip, but it gave me a few moments to use my hands for something other than stopping her from crushing my throat. If I hadn't taken the chance, I would have been done for. That's why I tried to literally seize my chance. I moved both of my hands on the ground to seize that chance. I felt a piece of broken glass on my right hand. It's true, like a chance to literally save myself from the brink of death. I cut Rena's wrist deep with a piece of glass. I tried to endure the pain for a few seconds, but pain that severe from someone so cornered soon broke her will. She let go of my throat to cling to her bloody wrist. I used that moment to roll away from her. It hurts. I screamed both in pain and also to try and intimidate me again. It didn't work anymore though. Intimidation only works on the opponent when the opponent is hesitant to fight. When you're already in a fight, screaming like that means nothing more than letting the opponent know how badly you're hurt. I no longer had any hesitation. I had learned from Rena. She taught me what I have to do in a situation like this. That's right. This is my secret hideout. I know every single piece of junk in here. Maybe I knew that a day like this was coming. Is it just a coincidence that it was there? I had pulled out a meter-long lead pipe, not at all surprised to see it there. I raised it high and brought it back down. There was no way Rena could block this hard and heavy lead pipe with just her arms. She'd probably try to block it with the palms of her hands in order to take it from me, but her long nails wouldn't let that happen. Unable to catch it the way she wanted, she broke her fingers and some of her nails came off too. Scream made me realize that I had the advantage I would have to keep. If I didn't, she'd turn the tables just like I did, then she'd choke me to death for sure. Stop it. Wait. She shielded her head with her arms. But it didn't help. All that would change is that I'd break her arms before I broke her face. I'm serious. Stop it right now. I'm serious too. Die. Should die. That's right. I should have done this a long time ago. I didn't need proof. I didn't have to talk to anybody. It's stupid. That's nonsense. I should have done this a long time ago. If I'd done it a long time ago, my father wouldn't have been deceived. I could have protected him. I could have protected my family. I could have protected my life. I could have been myself. My mother wouldn't have divorced my father. I could have stayed happy. I would have had to be I wouldn't have had to been unhappy. I'm going to recapture my happiness. This moment, I'm going to win back my happiness. I'm not going to cry for misfortune. I'm not going to give in to a fate of unhappiness. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to seize my happiness right now with my own 2 hands. Rena tried to run away from me. As she no longer had the use of her hands, it made her difficult for her to stand up to escape, especially since there were scraps of junk everywhere on the ground. After all, this is my hideout. This is my territory. Nobody can run away from me here. She tried to climb up the slope of garbage, slipped, fell, and rolled all the way back down. She didn't stand up or move. Her eyes were open, and her neck was bent at an unnatural angle. I didn't know how to make sure she was dead, so I kept looking at her opened eyes for a while. She could be faking it for all I know. But she didn't close her eyes no matter how long I waited. I scooped up a handful of sand and threw it on her face. She still didn't close her eyes. The lead pipe slipped out of my hand and hit the ground. When I tried to pick it up, I realized how heavy it was. I was surprised that I was wielding it as though it was a knife. I was sweating all over. The cold wind felt good on my skin. Cries of the Higurashi were calming down and healing my soul. Oh. All right. Congratulations to the winners of the... I had totally forgotten about the initially self-defense. I thought I had vaguely remembered her, like, plotting and, like, waiting and something. I don't know. I guess I was getting jumbled up with that, with Keiichi's thing a lot from back in Volume 3. Well, Volume/Chapter 3. If y'all happen to be interested, the first volume in this, well, chapter is free both on Steam or GOG. First taste, it's free. Although since it's in first volume of an entire graphic novel series, pretty dang. It's a heck of a freebie, for sure. Rena was just like a broken dummy now. She had become a piece of junk. I'm the owner of this land of junk, and I've defended it from her intrusion. Now she was a resident of this junkyard. I didn't feel bad about killing her. In fact, I felt rather fulfilled that I defeated the evil woman who had deceived my father. I started breathing slowly and calmly, and I regained enough energy to analyze the situation. I'd have to hide her body. First, I had to get rid of her scooter. Climbed up the slope and kicked her scooter down the hill. Rolled down the slope, making a lot of noise, and blended in with all the junk as it stopped, like it was there from the beginning. I went back down the slope and started dragging her body to my hideout. Should have taken as much effort as dragging a 50-kilogram sandbag. It felt lighter than that. Just a sandbag. Yet it brought disaster to my family. I didn't lure her here in order to kill her. Or did I? Maybe I just didn't notice that I had that intention deep down in my heart. Even so, I felt like this was the best and most expedient solution. There was no better solution than killing her. How wasteful to depend on someone to help me, to wait for the day to come when they will. I remembered the murder of Satoshi-kun's aunt that happened last year. I had no doubt that Satoshi murdered her. But I've never been as convinced as I am right at this moment. Could he have saved Satoko-chan, other than by killing his aunt last year? That time, that circumstance. My situation was much the same as his. How could I have saved my father other than by killing her? If I was planning a murder, I would have been under a lot of pressure and stress. For better or for worse, the moment came to me out of nowhere. That's why I believe I solved my problem with as little trouble as possible. Now that she's gone, will any become suspicious about her disappearance? She was an irresponsible person who skipped work at her own convenience, so I didn't think anyone would get suspicious when she disappeared one day. She was a big mess from the start. People think she went into hiding because she got into deep trouble with someone. I didn't need to fabricate an alibi. All I needed to do was get rid of her body. It took me a while to figure out how to do that last part. Hiding her body would be very risky, but my brain had become so calm that it did some calculations and came up with an answer right away. Yes, this place is still the safest. This is a place forgotten. Nobody comes here. Nobody knows this place is here. I knew that because I'd been spending a lot of time here. Compared to taking the risk of carrying her body to some other place, it was a lot safer to just hide it here. It wasn't perfect yet. This place wouldn't remain a secret forever. I could hide it here for now, but I'd have to come up with the perfect way to make it completely disappear. It's a lot easier to think about that than thinking about how to make Rena break up with my father. I stuffed her corpse into a broken refrigerator in a trash pile. I wanted to cover the refrigerator with dirt and bury it. That was too easy. I had to chop up the corpse into pieces and make them completely disappear. I felt like it got dark all of a sudden. No, it didn't get dark all of a sudden. Just didn't realize. Getting dark until just then. Okay. I'm wondering about something. So, this is still before the Watanagashi festival. I'm trying to remember the timeline from Volume 3. Because we know Teppei Haojo returned back when his mistress got killed, which I'm guessing is... that would be Rena. I can't remember if they mentioned the lady's name in Volume 3. Which was Satoko and Satoshi's uncle. Because that's when it came back. Because he got scared that someone was going to go after him or whatever, make him disappear too. We went back to Hinamizawa. That started off that chain of events. I guess something slightly... So in the other volumes, does this always take place? At least the murder. Oh, this is... And then something else coming soon. It's like... that determines that this is going to take whatever route this is going to take. Different from the other volumes. What usually what else there happened. Okay, I have to look that up. Hold on. Higurashi, chapter 3, name of murdered woman. Let's... Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay. So it is the same person, but all right, I forgot about there was actually like a torture happening. Said, so it wasn't like this. And yeah, I think it happened further back than like, because this is just like a couple days or whatever before before the Watanagashi, or really soon, I think. So it's the same woman. But in the previous one, she gets killed for like stealing money from the Sonozakis or embezzling money. So interesting. Very interesting. I could hear thunder from a distance. Might rain soon. Use some rain. Wash Rena's dirty blood into the ground. Should go home. Should think about what I'd do tomorrow. I was going to stay right beside my father until he forgets about her. He might be hurt at first. We're going to recapture our happiness for sure. Our happy, peaceful life. Gotta get blood on her, though. Like, on her clothes. Okay. Suspicion of disbelief or whatever. Say rain. Or who knows, this game might actually probably refer to that. Not just a few lines. Like a paragraph after I finish yabbering on. It's normally pretty good about stuff like this. My body was heavy with exhaustion, but I also felt fulfilled, because I took a very important first step today. I'll keep taking one step after another. I'm not going to cry anymore. Not going to cry until I win back my happiness. Not going to cry again. I'll never cry. Break a heart of stone. Open it up, but don't you leave it alone. For those that have seen some karaoke, probably like, oh, that's that song. Isn't that Alex Cooper ballad or whatever? I'll never cry. You do not very that good. Like, yes, that is the one. Freaking love that song. You don't need to get remarried. That was the first thing I said after I got home. My father looked stunned. He noticed the sad tone in my voice. Realizing that I didn't agree with the idea of his remarriage, he looked down. I understand. I know how you feel, Reina. I should have talked about it with you first, and... That woman is lying to you about her pregnancy. Talk like that. Rina-san is... Tell you the truth. That woman and a guy called Techon are a team of bad people. He went out with you only because she was trying to get our money. My father didn't get it right way, of course. He looked upset instead because I called her that woman. I should have chosen my words a little more carefully. I think I told him the truth clearly enough. Told him everything I heard and saw at the coffee house. As I expected, he defended Rena anyway. I was upset. At the same time, Made me certain that there was no other way than to kill her. Felt the pressure on my shoulders lessen for some reason. My father thought he needed my approval for his remarriage, but he held back his anger and put a fake smile on his face instead. Hey, Reina, let's sit down with a cup of tea and talk. I'm sure you'll understand once you hear me out. Tamed animal is still tamed, even after the owner is dead. It's okay. I'll open the gate anyway. Even a tamed animal will notice one day that he's no longer in captivity. It's not something I could teach him. He had to realize it on his own. Couldn't stand his fake smile anymore, so I left the living room. Time healed the pain from the divorce. Time heals any kind of pain, just like how dripping water will eventually bore a hole through solid rock. I did what I could do. Now I'd have to wait. The day I was going to wait for came earlier than I expected. At midnight of the following day, I had a visitor. It was that Techon man, Tepe Haojo. Tepe didn't even knock on the door to get in. He broke into the house by smashing the window. At first, I thought he came here to ask us about Rina's whereabouts, but I was wrong. The real reason why Tepe came here was because it was their plan. It was the last stage of their badger game. Rina was probably supposed to be in bed with my father at that time tonight. Okay, thank you so much for coming by, Lock and Load. Thank you for the gift subs and the bits. Thank you so much. You have a good one. Tepe must have wanted to show up and catch them sleeping together. Tepe looked around the house, but he couldn't find Rina. He didn't change the plan, though. He grabbed my father by his collar and started yelling threats. He showed my father a certificate of marriage to Rina and shouted at him saying, "Got my wife pregnant. You're going to take responsibility." My father had no idea she was married. He looked shocked. My father is a short guy who was faint of heart. He just let Tepe do and say whatever he wanted from beginning to end. I looked at them from a distance coldly. The more Tepe yelled and threatened my father, the faster he'd wake up from his bad dream. This was medicine for him. Tepe was cutting out the cancer that I was going to depend on time to do. He was doing a great job of it. I waited to help my father until I was sure he finally awakened from his bad dream. I told Tepe that I had something very important to tell him and took him outside. So, what do you want? Has Rina-san come back to Okonomiya since yesterday? Matter of fact, she's hiding somewhere. What? No, wait. Matter of fact, she's hiding somewhere. What? I don't get it. Rina-san told me to take you to her when you came to my house. Huh? Ritsuka thinking. Tepe followed me without hesitation. Oh, he dead. He dead. We walked in the dark with a flashlight to the place where nobody comes and nobody can hear us. The place forgotten. He asked me many things in the way, but I couldn't answer any of them. I just told him to ask Rina. The way I said it seemed to make him think that Rina was going to betray him, get married to my father for real. Though he's breathing heavily in rage, he walked right behind me without any suspicions. I knew this day was going to come very soon, so I was well prepared for it. We reached the place where I originally planned to bring him. I turned off the flashlight all of a sudden. What's going on? Everybody gets nervous when the only light in the dark goes off. But this is my territory. I didn't need any light. I could feel my surroundings even better with my eyes closed. I grabbed the big hatchet I'd hidden in a bush, lifted it up high. I'm sorry. I guess the battery went out. Hold on a second. Okay, hurry it up. Purposely sounded weak and helpless. I raised the hatchet into the air. Oh, I got a lighter. I'll just fire this baby up. Tepe found a lighter in his pocket and lit it up. Probably couldn't understand the sight illuminated by that small light. He saw a girl lifting up a big hatchet right in front of him. Tepe's eyes went wide. He didn't understand what was going on, but he understood that his life was in danger. Yet, he must not have been able to think fast enough to deal with it, even though he understood what he should do. Even if he could think fast enough and blocked his head with his arms, it wouldn't have meant anything. I knew Tepe would come to my house eventually. That's why I prepared for that day. I just didn't think that preparation was going to bear fruit tonight. I chose my weapon very carefully. I planned when, where, how I was going to attack him. And so there can only be one result. The hatchet cut deeply into his forehead. You could say she asked him a question. Ha ha! The hatchet is... I'm sorry. I felt an indescribable vibration through the hatchet when it hit him. This told me that I broke his skull. He bragged about how good he was fighting at the coffee house, but he sure went down quickly when faced with a murderous weapon. He was done in by a single blow. Tepe slowly fell to his side with the hatchet in his forehead. He looked like a victim in a B-movie. I killed this big guy with just one hatchet. It's probably quite experience in the world of violence, but I was better than him when it came to killing. Why? Because I've killed someone before. It's all done now. Bad people deceived my father and tried to rob him blind are all gone. I did what I had to do in order to protect my life. I had this much courage and determination when my mom told me about the divorce. I might have killed Akihito. If I did, I would have taken the life of only one. Because I couldn't do it back then, I had to kill 2 people in the last 2 days. Reina, let's finish it up. There's already a place to hide his body. I took care of everything. My hands were wet, so I shone the flashlight at him. Thought it was blood, but it was just sweat. Even so, felt uncomfortable and shone the flashlight at my hands several times. I did all this in order to be happy. I did all this so I should be happy now. I tried so hard that I got blood on my hands. I wanted to get credit for that from him. Yashiro-sama, let me ask you a question. I can finally rewind the time back to the day everything started to go wrong, can't I? Going to stay in Hinamizawa. Going to live happily. My father forever. Oh, back to Keiji. It's rare to see Reina sleep in class. She isn't the kind of girl who sleeps in class because of staying up so late. You had to be tired from doing housework or something. Everybody seemed to be thinking the same thing. They tried to wake her up. Not even Chie-sensei. She got up for a few seconds and went back to sleep. She swayed back and forth like she was rowing a boat. She's in class, so I should wake her up, right? About to wake up before my hand touched her. Mion gave me a sign not to. Let her sleep. Must be really tired today. Right. I heard a few days ago. Reina lives with her father. She studies during the day, plays a lot after school, and does things around the house after that. I didn't know that. I didn't know her mother had divorced her father. Mion told me that. She told me not to talk about it because Reina is still hurt by the divorce. I didn't even know that she's been through such a tough time. Reina is the kind of girl who doesn't show her pain to others. She always looks happy and cheerful, but she might be acting that way on purpose. Reina told me that happy days will one day come to an end. She told me she knew that firsthand. Could she have been through? No idea. That's probably why she tried to spend as much time as peacefully. Blah blah blah. That's probably why she tried to spend as much time as peacefully and cheerfully as she could. Must have hurt her feelings when I said I was bored of having happy days. When I thought about it, I felt bad for living off my parents who are both healthy and happy. For that matter, Satoko and Rika-chan lost their parents too. Mion lives with her grandmother, away from her parents because she needs to learn to be the head of the Sonozaki family in the future. When I realized all that, I felt bad about my situation. You don't have to feel bad about living with your parents. Mion seemed to have read my mind. She said it with a cool expression on her face. A family is the most common community for kids like us to live in. It's not the only community we have. You mean, friends? You're right. Think we're as good as family to Reina? Reina does cleaning, laundry, cooking, and shopping. She must be tired every day. She could spend her afternoon taking naps. She doesn't do that. Spends her afternoons playing with us. That means we're her best friends. So you're saying we're friends with as much value as family to her? Slip back into the Reina voice while their stuff for a bit there, didn't I? Mion looked stunned, as if she didn't understand what I was talking about. Ah, I didn't know what friends meant for you until today. I believe friends are just as important and valuable as family. The real value of this series is friendship, isn't it? I'm dead serious. I think this seems like a lot of the issues of the previous ones feel like they should have communicated and tried to solve their problems with their friends. Otherwise, bad things that happened in the previous wouldn't have happened. I feel like that's the point of this series, isn't it? It's the magic. Higurashi, friendship is magic. It was friendship all along. Always has been. Bam. Oh my gosh. Developers are freaking genius. Magnificent bastard, or bastards. It's actually very easy to understand. The real murders were the sweethearts made along the way. Yes, exactly. I guess for me it would be like, maybe the real fish and tea are the friends I made along the way. Okay, wow, okay. We're just gonna continue this nice moment in the game, in the murder game. Rika-chan joined our conversation. The important thing, to have people around who you can feel comfortable. Sometimes you call them family, or sometimes you call them friends. Just a matter of the word you use. Are friends the same as family to you, Rika-chan? Yes, they are. I believe they are to Satoko, me, and Reina too. I guess that's why we always try to stay together. You ever feel lonely when you're with your friends? They're my family. I'm not lonely. Mion nodded in agreement. Satoko was talking with her other classmates, and I'm sure she would nod as well. Reina would too. A little embarrassed. Why? I've been using the word friends, but I don't think I understood its true meaning until today. Friends are more important and irreplaceable than I thought they were. That's like common sense. So you should take this opportunity to remember that. Yeah, I will. I also recommend that you don't say that again. Hey, John, you just said something very embarrassing, you know? Friends are more important and irreplaceable than I thought they were. Dear Princess Celestia, today I learned friends are... Ahem. I mean, it's true, though, but... It is both cringe and based at the same time. Which is perhaps the ultimate form of baseness. Maybe the real baseness was the friends who made it. Okay, stop. Okay, we're gonna do For all that, Mion still made fun of me. I think I understand a little better why Reina was always so serious about having fun. I want to be her best friend. I want to do my best to be deserving of her effort. Reina snored. It sounded cute. Chie-sensei let her sleep in class. She couldn't let her get away with snoring. Class president, wake her up, please. Reina, get up. Pa? Reina was still half asleep and made a strange noise. Everybody in the class laughed. Reina noticed they were laughing at her, woke up right away, and acted like she wasn't sleeping at all. It looked really funny, and I burst into a fit of laughter. Outside the window, the sky was blue and the clouds were pure white. It was still June, but it looked like the middle of summer. This perfect weather wouldn't last forever. It could get cloudy and rain all of a sudden. That's why we had to play and raise a ruckus, while we still had this perfect weather. Cries of the cicada sound as if they're laughing at us, because we still have some classes left. Damn it. I can't wait for school to finish. Aw, dang, I'm having... Can't wait for school to finish. Seriously having some flashbacks or whatever. For waiting for... Just waiting at school. Waiting for 3 p.m. to hit. You could be like, peace out, bitches. Like, and I'm gone. Ichi-kun, look very happy. Something special happened today? Nothing. Today's today. Tomorrow is tomorrow, right? Yeah. Just happy that we have perfect weather today. I don't care about the weather tomorrow. I enjoy today as much as I can. If the weather changes, I don't want to regret that I didn't. I learned that from Reina. I learned that peaceful days are the happiest days you can have, that they're irreplaceable. Mion, what are we doing today for club activities? We need something very exciting for the punishment, too. That's the spirit I like, Kei-chan. As you insist, I'll put you through a living hell. Keiichi-kun, provoke her too much. Hey, are you scared, Reina? I know you're better than that. Oh wait. Hey, are you scared, Reina? I know you're better than that. Let's show our true power again. Remember, we haven't brought an end to our last battle. I grinned at her and she grinned back. I do remember that. Okay, let's do it then. Reina-san, you certainly got me last time. For that, I must pay you back with interest. This is getting very interesting. Going to be a blast. I can't wait for school to finish. Couldn't wait either, but the time we spent just talking together is also very precious. Yeah, be nice if school ended soon. It fades into this. That means school's gonna end, which would mean school's out for summer. School's out with fever. School's been blown to pieces. No more pencils, no more books, no more teachers. Dirty looks. Just stop, otherwise I'll do the whole thing. Do the whole thing and start doing it in earnest. Later. My favorite wine. Satoko went to join the children playing in the schoolyard. Since I didn't feel like going, I decided to stay at home. Most likely, I wouldn't be back until the evening. Satoko wasn't around. I had ways of spending time without her. Besides, what I wanted to do anyway. I stuck my hand deep inside the pile of winter futons in the closet, pulled one out. Next, I filled a stylish-looking glass with ice. The ice made in the freezer smelled of chlorine, though. Didn't taste good. Store-bought ice would be the best. Since Satoko kept asking me what I was using it for, I stopped buying it. But might be worth spending time to think about a good excuse for that. It meant I would be able to enjoy ice without ever smelling the chlorine. I filled the glass with mineral water, and then poured a little bit of another liquid into the glass. Watching the color mix into the transparent water was a very pleasant thing. This wasn't the right way to drink it, but I liked it that way and didn't want to hear any complaints. My body is very convenient, because I can get drunk with only a tiny amount. That's why I dilute that small amount, the full glass of water. Thanks to that, I enjoyed a single bottle for a long time. It wasn't bad if you thought about it like that. Although, unless you have a bottle stopper that's like really good, the wine's gonna turn sour. It would be the issue, though. Put a cushion on my favorite spot by the window. The glass in one hand, I enjoyed the familiar view and the soft wind brushing through my hair. Slightly sweet ripened aroma tickled my nose. Just when I was about to start enjoying the atmosphere, the annoying one came back. She didn't like this bad habit of mine. She complained every time I tilted the glass. She started nagging me noisily. Get up, be a little more tolerant. I can drink and eat whatever I want. Can't. Kids aren't supposed to drink alcohol. Oh wait, Satoko. Oh. Is this Satoshi? I'm thinking it's Satoshi. Because, obviously, underage. And someone living with Satoko. Unless it's... unless it's Rika. Rika's pounding it away. You can't. Kids aren't supposed to drink alcohol. I tried to ignore her, but she started making a fuss, as if trying to ruin the atmosphere on purpose. No way I could enjoy getting drunk like this. I glared at her and threw the drink out the window. You want to know why I'm depressed? I'm depressed because the way I die has been decided. Holy crap, it is Rika. I think she's the only one that would say that. Oh my gosh. Seemed like she finally understood why I wanted to drown myself in alcohol. You know. I watched the first... So my experience with the anime is I know that I had watched like the first anime that came out. Which basically is covered up to the events of like this volume. Though I've inadvertently ended up like learning some like bits and like things just over kind of like through osmosis or whatever. Or at least get like impressions of things. So, but like as comments have indicated like before, it's like there's stuff it's been years since I've completely like forgot some stuff. Oh, thank you for the fluid check. Wait. She said annoying one. It doesn't necessarily mean Satoko. Is it this? This may be that other color character that like I've been seeing around. The one or whatever. Because like I don't believe Satoko would know. Wait. Here now, what's been happening? Oh. So right now we're doing a tip or whatever, but so Reina so Reina killed Rena, the chick that was squeezing that was like conning her father. Cuz like she was talking to her or whatever, and she was like ended up inadvertently like confronting her in... Yeah, I haven't watched Ko. So yeah, thank you. It's not like that it would like ruin me or whatever, like with spoilers or whatever. That's kind of like, it's just like with a lot of like mystery stuff, it's like when you're first kind of like, it's the trying to figure it out is kind of... So. And then when you like redo something or read back a story, whatever, you know. If it's something that's good, you enjoy it in a different way. The answers are is definitely worth... Yeah. I was having a hard time not to like try to do it or whatever, because I like the character Mion. And so like during chapter 2 and the events that happened in that, I was like, because I knew it was actually Shion at the time, but of course I didn't want to say that or anything like that. I was doing it. I didn't want people to get a bad impression of my girl, but you know, uh, Neon's awesome. Uh, oh, anyway, yeah. So Reina, so they got a confrontation, and like, you know, Reina revealed that she ended up that she knew about the scheme or whatever that Rena had. So like Rena's like got pissed off already, started, and like she actually started to like try to choke Rena to death. So initially so Rena was able to fight Rena off. The similar names, it's not confusing at all. I'm sure. And then she just finished her off. So she's hid the body in the dump or whatever, and then a couple days when like Tepe Haojo came up, because he was gonna be like, they were gonna like to finish the scam, you know, they were gonna be like, oh no, she's married to me actually. She's been married this whole time. Gotta take responsibility, you know. And for this stuff. And so crap. So when he showed up, she had already planned out. She killed him. She lured him back to like the same spot in the junkyard, because that's like at our hideout in the junkyard. So that's where. So she got him. She asked him a question, right to the face. Through the element of surprise. And yeah. So she's hidden the bodies. And she plans on cutting them up and disposing of them somehow later. That's it. We have gone back to Keiichi or whatever, and he's finally found out that, you know, she's child of a divorce and, you know, stuff, and learning the value of friendship or whatever. They had a touching moment for a bit. But anyway. I didn't get as farther because of I ended up going on the 30-40 minute inadvertent lecture about fish. Because I got some new fish today, and instead of just answering a question simply, I started to go on like a whole thing. Glub glub, yes. Fish called Sidit, the name right or whatever, called a Gertrude or whatever, a tropical fish it's got some neat fins. They're actually gonna be blue, and mainly blue with also like some yellow. I'll be taking pictures tomorrow, because the water's a bit stirred up, because I was also working on some plants today or whatever. It's mostly clear, but it just got a little tinge of like the cloudiness. Should look good tomorrow. And also got some more rice fish, but they're jet black with a little sparkles of whatever. They're really cool, like, species of fish or whatever. They're really common in South Asia. I think I heard someone like refer to them as like I had like a video someone like referred to them like as like the guppies of Japan, because they kind of breathe quick, very hardy, actually super. People keep them in ponds outside or whatever. But so those, and also I ended up getting a few of green, they're called Kubatai Resboras, but basically they're just really a nice shiny green Resbora. Resboras being kind of like a type of fish, sort of like a tetra or whatever. They're small. They're Resboras are small and tropical. I see. Actually, I'm now actually seeing two of my other types of I've had doing. They're almost kind of dancing around each other. That could be spawning. Definitely possible. I won't get distracted by fish gate. I'll go more in detail in the Discord, and I'll get pics up. Yep. Okay. Now who's saying this? I don't think it's Rika. Yeah, I don't think that's Rika. This annoying one. I don't think it's Satomi. You're very welcome, no problem. You don't have to feel down. I get to die instantly. So it's not that scary. My body will be burned and cut into pieces. I'll be able to die instantly. Not yet. I know. Not yet. Am I going to die again? I think it's the night of the 25th of June. It's about a week after the Watanagashi festival. That sounds reasonable. Is it my fault? Of course it is. Serious? She was the one who asked me. She cried when I told her she was right. Jeez, she's always so annoying. Let's keep trying. I'm sure I'll get 6 in a row on the next board game. June 25th. I still had 10 more days. I was going to relax and enjoy those 10 days. I still had some wine left too. I've been enjoying, like, it's the tips are a lot of like, some are really interesting because you always have like the okay, who's doing this one and who's doing, and then you add a little extra of trying to figure that out, and when they're hints, but then you can actually like figure them out. That of course there's the ones that are like the straightforward ones, straightforward clues and info. Then there's the really interesting, like that one, which it's revealing some stuff, which you can kind of place some of it, and the other stuff you have to like figure out. I progressed one whole chapter tonight. I think I'll call it for a Higurashi, since I wouldn't honestly go that much longer with Higurashi. And I don't think because it's I don't think I'll straight end or whatever. Not sure. I'll figure it out in a minute. Let me go ahead and end. So actually, screw it, we'll continue. I won't do the whole chapter a bit longer. It'd been very hot for the past few days. The corpses went rotten quickly. Any housewife knows how fast fresh meat can go bad. I know it too. That's why the first thing I did was to dismember the corpses. There was only one reason why I needed to dismember them. I had to reduce them to a portable size in order to carry them to a place where they'll never be found. When men see the words dismembered corpses, they'll probably feel disgusted because they don't cook. But housewives are used to taking the guts out of fish. They sometimes even see living maggots. They take the maggots off the food, or even cook it off with the maggots, or even cook it with the maggots still on. The heat will kill them after all. Women don't tell men what they do in the kitchen, because men wouldn't eat the food if they knew. It didn't really bother me much to dismember them. I wonder if it's like maggots that you're referring to or whatever, or it's like, I know like, if you're cooking fish, a lot of times you'll have like, these really, really teeny tiny, almost kind of wormy things or whatever, that'll honestly be in like meat. It's the meat's still good, the fish is still good, but they're so tiny. But I hope no one's eating fish right now. I just ruined your, or is about to eat fish. It's something from a long time ago, so I may be. I could be totally wrong about that, or that may be something like, or I don't. Continue on. I was released from all my problems by killing them. Cleaning up the mess was like nothing to me, because I got freedom and regained my happiness. I dismembered the corpses using carpenter's tools like a saw and hatchet. I'm wearing a black sweatsuit I bought for today because I thought I might get stained with blood. Bloodstains don't show on black fabric. I can just throw it away after it's done. I brought a plastic sheet I found in the dump, because I thought the blood might spread otherwise. If I did the work on this sheet, I'd just burn it after I was done. In the end, dismembering human bodies is no different from preparing food on a chopping board. Did she bring the Chianti? Or, no wait, did you bring the fava beans in a nice Chianti? A nice Chianti. Fava beans, a nice Chianti. I can't do it. Fava beans in a nice Chianti. I don't, how, it's my Hannibal, okay. Ahem. Very tired from chopping apart two adult bodies, but I didn't have a problem doing it. Cut off their arms, legs, and heads, dividing each body into 6 pieces. I heard before that blades get easily ruined by fat when you cut apart a corpse, so I brought many kinds of tools. And I was right. I didn't have to go back and forth between here and my house to get another tool in the middle of work. A long time ago, the construction manager was murdered and his body was dismembered here during the dam conflict. He was cut into 6 pieces in the same way. Well, I had 2 bodies, so there was double that too. Double that, though. I remembered the main suspect was still on the loose. The victim's arms he hid hadn't been found yet. I wonder where he hid it. I'd like to ask him, I smiled wryly. Unlike the arms, legs, and heads, The torsos were difficult to take care of. I thought about cutting them into smaller pieces, but I decided against it because I thought it'd be troublesome to clean up the guts. I put each piece in a black trash bag and sprayed on a lot of deodorant. I wasn't sure if that would help against the smell, though. Many bugs flew around me while I was dismembering the corpses. After I finished putting all the pieces into each bag, bugs were still flying around. That was just because they could smell the blood. If I cleaned up everything, they were all gone. All I needed to do was get rid of these 12 black bags. Burning them would be easiest, but I don't think I could burn them to ashes without using a cremator. This is true. You need really high temperatures to burn a human body. I don't know this from personal experience, just I know of this. I I like watching a lot of crime stories and stuff on YouTube, okay? I actually just watched a couple just today, so one's eating liver and fava beans while watching Silence of the Lambs. Was it like a theme dinner or something like that? It's kind of... Did it taste good, though? Did you have the Chianti specifically? You have to go all the way. Of course I had... Okay, good. Nice, nice. Yeah, you gotta go full out. If you're doing you gotta have the side. Was it a nice pairing, though? Is it genuinely a nice pairing, or was it... I feel like that that maybe depend from what you got the liver from. Not a fan of liver. Yeah, it has a specific... It's been like forever since I've like had that, but I or had it's like it's okay, but it's just kind of meh. I'm not big on the texture when I had it. Of course, that's like, oh my gosh, that may have been like 20 years ago. Yeah, that sounds about right, actually. Probably close to that. Potentially a couple years more, or whatever. Oh my gosh. I feel like maybe other organs might taste better though. Honestly, it's not an organ, but I know, but like beef tongue is not. I had this once. It was a few years back at a Korean barbecue place or whatever. That was like one of the you could get. Let it try that. Actually, just a really nice cut of meat. You kind of you just have to get out of your mind the fact that you're hunging another. It is. It does feel a bit weird on like in terms of like mentally on like first doing of like the this is a tongue, right? Yes. And I'm putting it on my tongue. Yes. I'm Frenching an animal and then uh anyway, forbidden French cuisine. The best way is to bury them somewhere. In the torsos. Every piece is small enough to fit in my backpack. Easily carry them without being noticed. You throw them in the river running through the damn construction site. I don't do that. That means if they ever did, it would be like... Unless you weight them down, they're gonna float. Although I feel honest, river, no. Like, a body of water, if it was like farther away from like any sort of like human settlement, like a good distance away from it. That would be good, as long as you weighted it down. Because then honestly, it's like, as long as no one found it for like a few decades, you'd basically be in the clear at that point, more than likely. Like a couple decades or whatever, 20, 30 decades, or 20 to 20, 30 years or whatever. Like, there's gotta be, like, getting any sort of evidence from that. Like, it's possible, but like, I feel like any type of stuff you would get, any type of stuff you might have, you would have to like have a really good connection or like suspected individuals already to be able to tie anything. So like they found a number of bodies in like Lake Mead as it's been like drying up because of like the waters and stuff like that, and like I think it's Lake Mead, yeah, the big one like near like Vegas or whatever. They found so many dead bodies. I mean, considering all the mob stuff in early Las Vegas histories, it's really not that surprising. But potential, maybe other than like potentially maybe identifying a few missing persons, that's not, you're never gonna know who did it. I'm just giving how to get away with murder advice tonight, aren't I? Advertly, and that just no one do that, please. No one do the things. I'm just okay. This is just imagination and stuff. Anyway, please don't. Please, I would not do the refer. If I did that, somebody would find them for sure. I've seen on the news several times before that a bag with a body part in it was found beside a river. Each time I heard something like that, I always thought the murderer was stupid. Yep, they are. I thought about dumping them into the Onagafuchi swamp. Rotten meat floats. Thought about weighing the bags. There's no guarantee they'd stay down. That's why you use hefty brand bags. If you weigh down those bags, they'll never tear. Please, I hope someone does. Someone needs to do that. It's like a parody ad campaign, like for a Halloween. Seriously, hefty brand trash bags. The tool for serial killer. The tool. The garbage bag. The garbage choice of all serial killers. When I'm about to dump bodies in the ocean, I always go for hefty cereal bags. To weigh them down. They stay down there. That left me one choice, to bury them. Many unexplored mountains on the end of the abandoned districts around Yauchi and Takatsudo. Probably best to bury them somewhere in the mountains. It'd be safe to bury them here in the garbage dump too. It's not perfectly safe. So I'm going to bury all these bags somewhere deep inside of the mountain, in order to completely erase the two of them. My joints hurt since I've using muscles I don't normally use. I cleaned up the mess very carefully, got into my hideout, while still wearing the sweatsuit, and laid down on the mattress. I washed my hands carefully. There was still dirt and blood under my nails. I should take a shower later and wash it off completely. It's when I say things like disposing of corpses, sounds like I'm the greatest evil of the century. That's only true if I get caught. What I did isn't a crime as long as I don't get caught. Plus, I didn't do this because I wanted to commit a crime. I didn't do anything wrong. I did this to protect my father's life and mine. People might speak ill of me. I don't care about them. Cod killer bags, wimpy. Cod killer bags, wimpy. Killers who got away with it bags. Hefty. Hold on, wait. I think I could do that one better. Okay, hold on. Cod killer bags, wimpy. Killers who got away with it bags. Hefty. Kind of messed up a little bit on the wing part, but I think it's a little bit better. I think I did a little bit better that time. Thank you. In the end, I don't think anybody can really pass judgment on my sins. Sins aren't something to pass judgment on, or something to confess and to atone for. In other words, nobody can measure the weights of a sin other than the person who committed the crime. Do I regret what I did? Do I feel sorry? No. I don't think I did anything wrong. I truly believe there was no better way than killing them. I am sure it was the right thing because my life had already started to change since the night I killed them. A few days earlier, just came home after killing Tepe. My father was cleaning the room. Tepe had thrashed her. His eyes were swollen. He'd been crying. Reina, where have you been? I was talking with him. I said Rina-san will never come to our house again. So please leave us alone. Therefore, he'll never come back. This just a photo? On some of the screens I think that may be the case. I'm not sure. Like on the backgrounds where they're like blurred out. Were you talking about the part of like my background? Because that is just a photo for sure. The stuff here, I did not take the photo, but the portion that's on the screen though for the game. I'm not sure 100% if a lot of these do look this sort of like they could be photos that have like a blur effect or something on like that to give them almost kind of like a painted look or something like that. Or they could genuinely be like artwork that's going for an almost almost for like a really standard thing, but also it's kind of a little bit of that impressionist slant. There's some screens that really do that I'm pretty sure would be just drawn or whatever, or painted somehow. Others definitely look like this one, definitely look like they could just be photos with a blur effect on. Which if they're drawn, that's really impressive. I don't think he'll stay away from that easily. You should watch out for him a while too. It's hard to explain to him why Tepe would never come back. I can't tell him he shouldn't worry because I killed him. Grabbed ice cube from the freezers, put them in a plastic bag and handed it to my father. Here you go, Dad. Cheeks are swollen. Must have only just noticed it then. Oh, thank you. Don't worry about cleaning up the mess. I'll do it. Get the vacuum cleaner. Reina called out to me. I'm sorry. So sorry. It's not your fault. They make their living by deceiving people. You were just one of their targets. Reina, did you know who they were? Yeah, I found out recently. Didn't tell you because I thought you wouldn't believe me. Sorry. He looked down, and he told me about how he wanted to get remarried. I told him that they were bad people. that they scammed others with badger games. He didn't listen to me. I was right in saying he wouldn't have believed me at all. He took advantage of your pain. A very bad father. Then he started talking about how he met Reina, if trying to absolve his guilt. It was when he was suffering the most. He needed to drink away his sorrow. At a bar, he happened to go into Rina-san. At a bar he happened to go into, Rina-san was the one who came to his table. It's her job to be a good listener when her customers talked. Rina must have really been a great listener. Offered words of comfort when he talked about the divorce. Okay, he must have gone to like a hostess bar or something. He was emotionally stable. Could have taken it as a kindness that she was only offering at the time. But he was so desperate that he took it the wrong way. For that, tragedy was inevitable. He wanted to believe that it was destiny, and he glamorized everything about her. It would be easy to laugh at him and say that he was just dreaming. I don't blame him, because being weak is also part of being human. He had plenty of opportunities to grow suspicious of her questionable spending habits. My father just read even that behavior as an attempt to cheer him up. Bought everything she asked him to, and Rina had landed her catch. She had brought his lover to the house where his daughter lived. But he was crazy about her. He didn't even think about it. I'd forgotten that I was a father first. What was I thinking? He started crying. I held his shoulders gently. It's okay. I realized it in the end. You're my father no matter what. The only family I have. Couldn't stop moaning. We held each other and cried together. Next day, my father got up early in the morning. He was already cooking breakfast when I got up, and he told me, your father is going to get his act together from today onward. Dad, you should have used salad oil before you cooked them sunny side up. It's been a long time since I cooked. He pried off the burning eggs in the pan with a spatula, and he added salad oil to it. It's too late. Doing that just made an even bigger mess. But I didn't say anything, because I wanted to eat his eggs. I waited at the table quietly. He put the burned eggs on a plate, brought them over to me. It looked like he tried to salvage them by adding cheese, but it didn't really work. Still, it smelled good and crispy. It actually stimulated my appetite. Thick-cut toast popped out of the toaster. I made coffee with extra milk and sugar, because my father liked it sweet. I put everything on the table. It looked terrible, like the cooking class of an elementary school. But to me it was precious, because my father tried very hard to make it, wearing the apron. Great. It smells good. I hope it tastes as good as it smells. It might be better that you do the cooking. I feel bad making you eat this. Take care of cooking, and you take care of getting a job. It had been a taboo to talk about work in our house. He hadn't worked since the divorce. It wasn't only because of the divorce, though. He just didn't have to work because the settlement my mother gave him was so huge. Plus, I let him be lazy because I felt guilty about the divorce. But my father cleared his wrongdoing by showing repentance to me. And I also atoned for my sin of not doing anything about my mother by doing what I did the previous night. Now we are free of sin. I'm going to try to find a job. I'm thinking about going to the employment service agency today. Yeah, it's a great idea. It's not money that he wanted. He just needed a normal lifestyle. I'm old and not very strong. A bit worried if I can find a job at all. What kind of job are you looking for? I'd prefer a desk job, but I don't think a lot of companies would offer one to an old man like me. Ask my friend. Michan is the daughter of a big landowner in Hinamizawa, so she might be able to find you something. No, it's okay, I'll do it myself. I have to man up, you know? I don't remember the last time we enjoyed breakfast like this. I don't even remember the last time we had breakfast together. For the first time in a long time, the morning light felt refreshing. Wanted to keep enjoying life like this. But unfortunately, I had to go to school. I told him that I'd skip school that day. I wanted him to take me somewhere fun. But he tried to be a good father and said that I had to go to school. Well, I have to go now. Okay. Have a good day at school. He followed me to the front door. I'm embarrassed for some reason. He talked to me while I was tying my shoes. Followed me here, not because he wanted to see me off, but because he wanted to tell me something. I've sad ever since your mother divorced me. But I realized I shouldn't be sad, because I have you, Reina. I didn't have to feel sad at all. Dad, what being a family is all about. Yeah, you're right. And I'm not a good father. I had to learn something that simple and important from my own daughter. Well, I have to go now. Eiichi-kun is waiting for me. Have a good day. Oh, Reina. I'm going to cook dinner tonight. I'll do the grocery shopping on the way back from the employment service agency. Look forward to it. I promise I won't fail like I did just now. Okay. Looking forward to it. See you tonight. I left the house. My father saw me off still in the apron. The first step of our new life. Finally regained it. Finally regained everything we lost after we left Hinamizawa. My mother wasn't around. I didn't feel sad because I had my father. The cries of the cicadas sounded as if they were celebrating my new life. The sunshine was bright, and the wind was sending up a nice breeze. The only thing that wasn't nice, the ticking clock. I was late because I spent too much time talking with my father. Eiichi-kun might already be gone. I don't think he'd be waiting for me that long. But he was there anyway. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Sorry I'm late. It's okay. I usually make you wait. But it's okay that I wait once in a while. Really going to be late. We should walk fast, I think. Yeah. Walk fast. Might have to run at the end. Michan might already be gone. He's waiting for sure. We're friends. We'd never leave each other behind, right? Anyway, did something good happen this morning? What? Why do you ask that? Well, you look very happy for some reason. I just thought maybe something good happened to you. The good mood I was in must have been too obvious for Keiichi-kun to ignore. I had not only my family, my friends too. I felt something warm spreading in my heart. I'll tell you what happened this morning. My father made breakfast, but... What? Isn't that the right way to cook eggs? You use salad oil for making salads, don't you? What? Tell everyone you just said that. What did you say? Those rude remarks are unforgivable. Fine, bring it. You're saying that, and you're willing and ready to throw down, aren't you? Hey, what's going on? Doko Kei-chan, why don't you two place an outside bet on our club activities today? It'll be fun. Michan, what's an outside bet? What is it? Outside bet means what it says. That Satoko and I would place a bet on each other outside the game. One who played worse than the other has to suffer an extra punishment, besides the normal one. That means I get to see one of you suffer no matter who loses today. What do you say, Satoko? That sounds like a wonderful idea to me. Keiichi-san will take a punishment for being the lowest ranked in the game, and another punishment for losing to me. Wonderful. Great. I like your spirit, Satoko. Alright, let's play today's game with their outside bet. More fun to think about punishments than to think about the game itself. It sure is. I can't wait to see how miserable Satoko's going to look after she takes her punishment. Keep dreaming, Keiichi-san. Take that. Stop it. Gah! Stop fighting, you two. Game hasn't even started yet. Sensei opened the door and came in. Take your seats, everyone. Start homeroom. Then you can all go home. Everyone headed to their seats. Mi-chan. What? I'm sorry to ruin the mood, but I have to go home. After school, I have things to do again today. Oh, okay. I'm sorry that you have to go. Busy with housework or something? Yep. Well, this old man has no right to stop you when it comes to housework. I don't do housework myself. Our housekeepers do. Should help them sometimes. Be good training for married life. Don't worry about that. I already have the kind of skill, you know, to be a good wife. Okay, I already thought it was suspicious what the comment she just made. And then she added that Listen, you may be thinking that I may just be having my mind in the gutter or something, but seriously, okay, given things, jokes that have been made in this game, I feel my mind immediately going to something suspicious is not unwarranted. Okay? Okay? Alright. My defense, okay? Mi-chan looks like the kind of girl who tries to stay away from chores as much as possible, but she can't actually do everything. Just who she is. Okay, maybe it is. Alright. Alright. Okay. Alright, I think Hold on. I'll do this to myself.
I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
I called Chris Hansen twice. Sorry. She went through hard times to learn those things, but she acts like she learned them without any struggle. It's also who she is. I like that about her. What? Are you going home, Reina? Then you won't see Keiichi-san go to the teacher's office wearing an embarrassing uniform. What a shame. Going to be fun. Pity you have to miss it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Went home right after school for housework yesterday, too. Something happen? Yeah, kind of. Might take me a few more days. Well, then I guess you can't join us for a while. Maybe. I'll try to finish as soon as I can. Can we help you out with the thing you have to do? If it's something like carrying out old furniture, let me know. I can help with that. Are you redecorating your house? Old man can bring lots of help for that. I have an idea. We can make a game out of helping her her out with our housework. At this rate, the person who doesn't end up helping will be the winner. Thank you guys. Really do appreciate it. It seems like there's nothing we can do. Therefore, I announce Reina Ryugu's withdrawal from the front lines as of today. I order you to take a rest till you finish doing your housework. Return to the front as soon as you've regained your strength. Well, there are many games for 4. Oh, can you play Mahjong, Kei-chan? Yeah. My dad sometimes forces me to play Mahjong with him and his friends from work. Of course, we're good at Mahjong as well. After that, they fooled around and made a lot of noise, just like they always did. I looked at them and reminded myself that I'd always have a place to return to. I left the classroom with a smile. I was going to Yagauchi on my bicycle. I had to find a place to bury the bags with the body parts. Hopefully, I could finish burying all of them today before it gets dark. That, everything would be over and done with. I don't like that the back of the tiles are made of bamboo. You guys haven't marked them, have you? I wouldn't be too sure. Ichi-san, you sound traumatized by the experience you had with our card game. Card game? Did he get sent to the Shadow Realm for a bit? Haha. Well, I think there are some scratches on them. They're cheap ones, you know. But it's more fun when there's an element of doubt, don't you think? Me, how many reds do you want to use? 6? It sounded professional and it scared me. Oh well. I should start by checking the tiles. Playing Mahjong with my family is different from playing it as a club activity. I have to be cautious. It's possible that one tile is missing, that there's one extra of a particular tile in here. We don't do things like that. Still, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. Let's see. Let's put them all face up on the table and check them before we start the game. Come on. Everybody flip the tiles face up. One dragon is missing. One low pin and one low so are missing too. Oh, one low wan is missing also. What's going on? So many missing tiles. Oh, I remember. Hold on a second. Mion hit the palm of her hand with her fist, moved her chair aside and stuck her fingers into a gap in the floorboards. She then pulled a tile out of there. There you go. This is the dragon. I don't remember where I put the other 3. Wait, Mion. Why are there so many tiles hidden in the classroom? Turns out, the game was rigged from the start. Well, you know. He must have hidden the other 3 tiles somewhere in the classroom and forgot where. Couldn't play Mahjong with 3 tiles missing. Suggested playing another game. Mion insisted we had to find them and suggested making that treasure hunt our game. As long as I can make Keiichi-san suffer a punishment, I care little as what kind of game we play, but, to be honest with you, I'd prefer to play something more interesting than that. I agree. You're not sure they're here in our classroom, right, Mion? No, they're here. Or maybe this old man might have put them in his pocket and left them by the washing machine. I don't remember. I recommend checking the total number of tiles after we play Mahjong with me next time. Everybody except Mion nodded in agreement. What? You don't want to play our classroom tile hunting game? In other words, cleaning up the mess Mion made so she could cheat. Quit yourself. Don't use our club activities for personal reasons. Fine. So what do you want to do? Can't play Mahjong now. What are we playing then? Does anybody have any ideas? Our club president, Mion, usually decides what we'll play. I couldn't just come up with something on the spot. While we were all thinking, Mion hit her palm with her fist, just like she did earlier. Starting to feel like I remember how this goes. This part. Got an idea. Don't want us to hunt for tiles. Do a real treasure hunt. What name comes to mind when I say treasure hunting? Raina, right? Yup. Hold on, that's not the music. That's not the music. That's not the music. Why can I not find it when I need it? Ah. All right. You mean, are we going to the garbage dump at the damn construction site? I don't really go there often. The place is large. I've heard that the place is haunted by the ghost of the man who was murdered there. His body was cut into pieces. We shouldn't go near. A ghost? I like it. That's even better. I didn't know there was a rumor like that. I do know that someone was murdered there, that the main suspect is still on the loose. He had the arm of the victim and it hasn't been found yet, right? They're gonna find an arm. I think I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that they're gonna find an arm. I'm sorry. There's a rumor that the construction site manager, the victim of this murder case, became a ghost, and that he's wandering around the place to find his missing arm. Rika, don't like ghosts. Don't tell me you're still scared of ghosts. I'm a shrine maiden. I can see them, even if I don't want to. It's a freaking ghost. I don't think that's just a throwaway line. That's a key. That's a key clue right there, I think. Wow, you can see ghosts? Remember, I've heard those spirits see them as naturally as they do us. That's utterly ridiculous. I've been living with Rika for a long time, but I've never seen anything like that. That's just because you can't see them, but I can. For example, when you're asleep in your bed, I always see Mipa. Rika! Why did you smile like that? What were you about to say? What do you see when I'm sleeping? Totoko, I feel sorry for you. And pretend you're not scared of ghosts during the day, but I'm pretty sure you get scared when it gets dark. I'm gonna make a silent phone call tonight just to scare the hell out of her. Bad, KG, bad. Including myself, I don't think anybody really likes going there. Raina is the only one who does. If Raina finds a ghost when she's in our cute mode, he might take it home with her. That's so true. She'd say, "Ah, I'm taking you home with me." Well, easy to imagine that all of us laughed. Well, let's do it. Let's go treasure hunting. If you find a ghost, you win. You get a point if you find the victim's missing right arm. They're gonna find the body parts, I know it. You also get a point if you find anything that Raina would like. You can show what we found to Raina later. We'll later decide who's the winner. I can't wait to win the game and make Keiichi-san take the double punishment. Hey, Satoko, are you sure you want to win? That means you're going to see a ghost. Woo. Stop it. You're getting on my nerves. I don't want to go there. I'm scared of ghosts too. What do you mean you're scared of ghosts too? Who else are you referring to? I'm not scared at all. Hey, Keiichi-san, stop doing that. Let's go, everybody. Let's find the ghost. Woo! That woo. You could almost say that was kind of a form of a...
Yay!
It'll be over with. Everything will be over and done with. Yes. Be over when the Higurashi cry. So, that's it. Raina finished making her confession. There was no applause or curtain call. Okay, so she's just zooming to them that basically they caught her like mid-act or something like that, and there was no applause or curtain call. It was a quiet and lonely stage that Raina performed on alone. I think I'd forgotten to blink since her confession started. Everybody else seemed to be feeling the same way. Raina looked at us, like she was a teacher waiting for questions from her students. We noticed she was imitating what Chie-sensei does at the end of class, and we all smiled bitterly. Went to Yagauchi earlier, find a place to bury these bags. Hard to pick a place because I wanted to make sure that nobody would ever find them. And thought about burying them in my backyard, because it might be safest. But after I thought about it, I knew that wouldn't work. My father might start planting vegetables one day. He might find them. So it's better that I bury them somewhere in the mountains. Plus, I don't ever want to let her near my father, even though she's dead. I felt like I did something very bad. Rina's plan was going smoothly. If I'd only hunted for the mahjong tiles instead of insisting on doing something else, this wouldn't have happened. When I looked at the others, they all seemed to be regretting their actions too. Mion hadn't come up with the idea to play at the garbage dump. Satoko hadn't found the broken refrigerator. If Rika-chan had convinced us not to go, Rina could have had a few more days. She could have gotten rid of these trash bags. They never would have been found. What would have happened next? Nothing. Everything would have remained the same. Could have kept having happy and peaceful days. Reina had been through a hard time. She'd been forcing her face into a smile for us. The fake smile was supposed to become a real smile one day. None of us were supposed to notice that Reina was going through a hard time. After a while, Reina was supposed to be able to forget the bitter memory of killing these two. She was supposed to live as if nothing had happened. But now, all of her effort, all of her courage, had been ruined. I know killing people is a bad thing to do. I didn't want to do this. I don't want to do it again in the future. But I believe this was the best solution. I also believe I didn't do anything wrong. I just applied my utmost efforts when God presented me the equal opportunity to regain my happy, peaceful life. Saying we should accept suffering and live an immaterial life without desires is nothing more than pretty words from those who have plenty. Nobody can belittle my efforts. Rather, they should praise me for what I did. They should celebrate for me. Reina Ryugu fought for her own fate. She won. I don't know why I did it, but I interrupted her. Shouldn't have. But I thought I needed to tell her this, so I did. But, Reina, why didn't you tell us? What do you mean? We're friends, aren't we? Friends always on your side without exception, no matter what. I thought friends were like family. You told us about it. We could have helped you. Then you wouldn't have had to get your hands dirty. What Reina told us made me sad. I couldn't help myself from saying that to her. Reina told us straight that she did the best she could. She told us that right to our faces. That's the same thing as saying that she didn't need us, nor to do the best she could. Hey, Chan, you can say that now, but... Wait, let me finish. I believe that friends are there to share both happiness and hardship. If you came to talk to us, I believe we could have done something different, and we could have led you to a better future. Better future? A better future than what I have right now. It's the best possible future. That's a lie. My shout seemed to scare her a little. I knew that Reina didn't believe that this was the best possible future. She just didn't have any other choice. She'd had other choices. She definitely wouldn't have chosen this one. No, you don't believe that. Because you're crying. What? Who's crying? Me? Not crying? Yes, you are. Been crying the whole time. Had you noticed it? In fact, I didn't see any tears in her eyes, or on her face at all. That didn't mean she wasn't crying. Reina was crying. She was crying because she was driven into a corner after all the hard work she did to become happy. Tears looked so sad. Anyone who didn't see those tears isn't really thinking about her. But crying, I won't cry. I did the right thing. I made the right choice. No reason for me to cry. Ridiculous. No idea what you're talking about, Keiichi. I know it. You're crying right now. Reina stopped laughing all of a sudden, and she spoke with a cold expression on her face. Okay. Say I did what you just told me. I told you all about my father and that woman. And what? Well, then what? Reina had never talked to me like this before. As if she was mocking my ignorance. That made me shut my mouth. Well, you have a Sonozaki. And, I do noticeably like going about this way, but, I'm pretty sure the heir to the Sonozakis could, get, getting, what was it? Why am Kasai? Yeah, I think that was right, his name. Try to, say it, to leave the Ryugus alone. Beg for forgiveness and then bugger off. Don't know what happened last year. Last year? Yeah, last year. Happened in June of 1982. For someone who had no choice but to kill a person to free himself from his misfortune. Satoko gasped. Ichi-kun, don't think you know much about him. About Satoshi Haujo-kun. I know that he's Satoko's older brother. He's been missing, but people say he transferred. There's a rumor that he killed his aunt for Satoko's sake. Therefore, it's been taboo to talk about Satoshi in my class. Actually, in all of Hinamizawa. Satoshi was under the same conditions as I was. He just wanted to have happy and peaceful days. He just wanted to live peacefully and quietly with his sister. You've heard about what kind of person Satoko-chan's aunt was, haven't you? What I've heard is true. This is what happened. After Satoko lost her parents, her uncle and aunt got custody of her and her brother. They were miserable people. Her aunt was especially cruel to Satoko. Satoshi was the kind of guy who wouldn't even hurt a fly. But his aunt probably was the only one whom he didn't have a problem killing. That's how terrible a person she was. Everybody in Hinamizawa knew about the trouble the Haosho family had. Everybody knew that their aunt was a hysterical and crazy person, that she bullied Satoshi-kun and Satoko-chan. Everybody knew everything. Everybody in our class knew it too. Mi-chan, future head of the three families, knew it. Rika knew it. And Satoko knew it too, of course, because she was the one experiencing it. The friends you're talking about knew what Satoshi was going through more than anybody in Hinamizawa. And what happened? Did anybody help Satoshi? No, nobody did. Mi-chan, the most influenced out of all of us, she made up a lame excuse, saying that it might create a conflict between the Sonozaki family and the villagers. In the end, all she did was hurting him by offering her sympathy. That's not true. Yes, it is. Satoshi knew it too. He knew that you were the only one pretending to sympathize with him. He knew that you had no intention to help him. That's why Satoshi started to hate you, Mi-chan. He said you always told him you were his friend, but after all that, you turned out to be just another Sonozaki, just another person who bullied the Haojo family. I didn't mean to. You didn't do anything to help him. You rejected his request for help by sympathizing with him. Do you have any idea how much that hurt? Mion tried to find something to say, but failed to do so. She bit her lip instead. Rika, you were the same too. Now Rina was pointing fingers at Rika-chan. Unlike Mion, Rika looked emotionless and empty, just like Reina did. Rika, you don't have the kind of power in Hinamizawa that Mi-chan does. Your worry carries a lot of weight with the old people who come to your shrine, don't they? There was something you could have done for him, but you didn't. Rika-chan, you did exactly the same thing as Mi-chan did. You just pretended to be his friend. All you did was sympathize with him and Satoko-chan. You didn't try to help them out of trouble they were in. Can you imagine how cruel and merciless your sympathy was to them? Satoshi wanted help. He wanted somebody to help him. He was at a dead end and couldn't get out of there by himself. He was sinking all the way down to his neck in a swamp, reaching for help, and waiting for someone to grab his hand. You're right. Rika-chan's voice sounded mature, very different from how she usually sounded. I didn't know how to save them. All I could do was offer some consolation. I'm not going to deny it, nor am I going to make excuses for my sin of not trying hard enough to find a way to save them. Oh, thank you very much for the fluid check. Didn't know you knew. Rena gave her a twisted smile. Ugliness caused me to look away. And Satoko-chan, I don't know if you'll believe me when I say this, but you're weighed down with sin too. I didn't understand why she was blaming Satoko. I tried to take her side, but I gasped in surprise when I looked at her. She looked like she was accepting the sin that Rena had mentioned. Satoko must have wanted to confess her sin before Rena pointed it out to her. So, Satoko opened her mouth first. I don't know if you'll believe me when I tell you this either, but I realized it on my own. I know what my sin is. Curious. I see. I realized it on that night Nini disappeared. Wish I'd realized it while he was still there. I understand how you feel. That sense that it was too late for regrets, right? I feel the same way. Happened to me before. That's why I fought this time. Satoko-chan, I'm sure you can atone for your guilt in the future. Because you realized you did. But that won't bring Nini back. He's not coming back. Toko looked down sadly. Usually, Satoko would say the opposite. She always said that Satoshi was coming back one day without a doubt. But now, she accepted the fact he would never return. She accepted it easily, if she knew it already, because he's her brother. Do you understand now? She asked me all of a sudden. That's how they were in 1982. Satoshi talked to everybody he thought could help him. He told them that he needed help. He told them he was going through. Consulted with them. Even came to me, even though I had just moved here at that time. I don't think it was embarrassing or shameful that he did that. People get desperate when they're unhappy. Toshi tried very hard, but he could do anything about the situation and he asked for help. He kept asking for help. You said that friends are always on your side no matter what. This is what friends really are. They're actually just people you hang around with for fun. They don't help you when you need them. Friends are always like that. That's why I decided not to tell anybody when I found out that I was in the same situation as Satoshi. I knew that nobody would help me and that nobody could. I didn't need sympathy. It only makes me feel worse. Better that I, at least, have fun at school. In fact, I did have fun at school. I was very happy. I was able to forget about the trouble I had with that woman, even if only for a short amount of time at school. I wish Satoshi could have done that too. If he did, he wouldn't have had to feel constantly hopeless, and he could have at least enjoyed his time at school. He didn't have any other choice than beating his aunt to death anyway. I didn't know how to help him at that time because I just moved here. All All I could do was listen to him and try to make him feel better. There might have been something more I could have done. I might have been lazy in thinking about what I could do. At that time in 1982, I thought I was his friend. Reina's self-derisive laughter charged into grievous sobs. Our tears gradually wore away at our relationship of trust. Nobody will help me. Friends are just people whom you have fun with. You can't trust them. The more Reina cried, the clearer we heard her voice in our heart. Mion, Satoko, and Rika-chan looked into the distance with sad expressions on their faces. I was the only one who could say anything back to her now. I had to tell her this, and she knew it too. She just needed to hear it from someone. I braced myself to tell her something that might hurt everybody. I understand, Reina. I understand what happened in 1982. I understand that they were heartless. But Satoko also told you this. They realized their sins. They regretted what they did and didn't do. So it should be different this time. They can understand your pain and they can help you. You weren't here last year. Afraid you don't know what you're talking about. That's right. I wasn't here last year. I wish I were. If I was here last year, I would have fought for Satoshi. You're lying. I'm not lying. I've learned how important friends are since I've moved to Hinamizawa. I'll fight for my friends. If I was here last year, I knew what Satoko's aunt did to her and Satoshi. I wouldn't have given Satoshi the opportunity to beat her to death. I would have done it myself. I would have done it in 1,500 seconds. And in a different timeline, I guess. Timeline would say, so he kind of did, so, you know. I wouldn't have even hesitated. I would have beaten her to death with a metal bat. That's easy for you to say. You don't know the kind of determination you need to kill another person. I don't know that, and I don't need to know that either. You know why? Because it's an obligation to help your friends. You don't understand, Keiichi-kun. You don't know how disgusting it is to kill a person. You can never get rid of the dirt on your hands, no matter how hard you try to justify it. You're right. Killing a person in order to save your friend, such short-sighted way of thinking. Might sound like I'm contradicting myself, but I think things aren't meant to go well when you take care of an evil matter by doing an evil deed. I'm proud of my conviction that I wouldn't hesitate to kill a person for the sake of my friends, but the peace I get by doing an evil deed won't last forever. We all know that by instinct. That's why we all despise evil things, I think. What? I have no idea what you're talking about. You didn't have to tell me that. I was aware I wasn't making any sense. But, for some reason, I could easily imagine a world like that. A world in which I saved my precious friends by committing an evil act. The peace I seized by doing that evil deed didn't last long. It got worse. It ended in a way as terrible as the sin I committed. This was a memory that shouldn't exist. I don't know why, but I know for a fact that it happened. That world of possibility. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. For some weird reason, I couldn't prevent myself from smiling in embarrassment even in a situation like this. But you know it too, don't you, Reina? You know, you didn't want to get your hands dirty. You're crying because you wanted us to help you, but we didn't. You didn't want to be a murderer. You're lying when you claim that this was the best choice you could have made. That's why you've been crying. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. That's not true. You know better than anybody if it's true or not. You've been regretting this from the beginning. Even if you were able to hide the corpses without getting caught, you could never have washed the blood off your hands. How are you going to fool yourself into believing? Are you going to fool yourself into believing you won't have to live the rest of your life bearing the burden of your sin? There's only one way to do that. You have to believe that this was the only choice. That means you have to live your life denying your friends, and denying that your friends are worth asking for help. Are we worth nothing to you, Reina? Of course not. You always believed that friends exist to help each other. Your friends were immature last year. That's why they couldn't help Satoshi from his unfortunate fate. When people grow up, you don't make the same mistake twice. You don't want to regret the same thing twice. But believe me, we're your friends. We're on your side. So what you're saying, that I was immature too, right? Yeah, I am. You were immature because you couldn't believe that your friends grew up. But I'm not going to blame you for that. We didn't notice until today that you've been going through such a hard time all alone. People can communicate their feelings only by talking to others. But there was nothing we could do because we didn't talk. In that sense, hard to say it. We have to admit that this was meant to happen today in order to make your choice the best one for real. We finally talked about our feelings. We know now, been distrusting your friends since last year, that everybody regretted both what they did and didn't do. So now, we finally become true friends. Finally, it's too late. We only notice our sins after it's too late. That's not necessarily true. For example, as your friend, I can understand the things you've done this time. What do you mean by that? I understand that depriving people of their lives is an unforgivable crime, but I also understand that my friend Reina had no other choice but to do this. So I don't think you're filthy, and I'm not scared of you. If something like this happens again, we should talk and think about what we can do together. But this already happened, and I understand that. When I say understand, I mean I forgive you. I don't hate you for what you did. I said that to everybody this time. I said it to all my friends. I accept what Reina did. I accept that she had no choice other than to do this. That this was her last resort after thinking it through many times. So, I'm going to side with her. Hey, Chan. Of course, if she killed them for money or some other stupid reason, I'd drag her to the police. But that wasn't why Reina did this. She couldn't run away, and she thought it through before she came to this point. She's guilty of anything. She's only guilty for not talking to us about it beforehand. I forgive her for that too. I forgive her for coming to this point. Eiichi. So, I beg you all, please forgive me for not noticing Reina's situation and for letting her go through it alone. My sin is that I allowed a day like this to come to pass. Keiichi-san. We're the only ones who know about these bags. We keep it to ourselves. Everything will be fine. Reina doesn't have to worry about a thing. Let's hide them somewhere like she planned. We'll cleanse ourselves with salt later. That's it. Let's forgive each other for our sins. Then we'll regain our happy and peaceful days. This is it, right? Reina, this is the future you chose. Right? This is the best possible choice, right? Eiichi-kun. I jumped on the hood of the abandoned car Reina was standing on, and I reached for her hands. Admit it. This is the world you wanted. This is the choice you wanted to make. But this is something that you can't choose by yourself. All of us have to reach for each other's hands so that Reina can make the choice. In other words, I can't make it happen by myself. I need everybody to reach for each other's hands. But Reina, you need to do it too. When all of us hold hands together, that's when you can go to the world that exists beyond the choice you made. Ichi-kun, I appreciate it. you really mean it. But, I'm not sure if that's what everybody else wants. A little hand touched mine. It was Rika-chan. Rika-chan. Reina, you aren't filthy. You didn't give up. You seized your fate, even though you had to dirty your hands to do it. I have no reason not to accept you. Rika-chan's small hand was strong, and she spoke eloquently. I know how comfortable it feels to be stained by disappointment, everything in this world, or getting lost in a maze of misfortune. That's why I can understand how strong you are, how hard you fought, alone, without giving up. I'm proud of having you in my life. I agree with Keiichi. I forgive you for your sin. But please forgive me for mine, too. Rika-chan. Just a little girl without any power. I could have fought. I'll not give up on my fate. I'll fight like you did. So I ask you to accept me as your friend. Rika-chan usually acts childish. Now she was like a totally different person. She meant every word she was saying. Then another little hand reached out to ours. Satoko. Satoko put her hand over mine and Rika-chan's. She didn't say anything, looking down for a while. Rika-chan urged her to speak. Rika and I lost both our parents. We never cried about it, however, because we have you, family, made of friends. I want us to continue to be a family for you. Natural to get it all out and confess everything to your family. Well, we are your family. I think today was a great opportunity for us. I appreciate that we had the chance to forgive each other for our sins. Family made of friends. Satoko, I like that. I forgive you for your sin, Reina-san. Please, forgive me for mine too. Big hand reached out for ours. It was Mion's. I always thought it was my job as the leader of this club to talk about the importance of friends. So I guess I'm not that good of a leader after all, huh? Mion. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make fun of you. Mion still smiled and scratched her head. Reina, I'm ashamed of myself as your friend, as the club president, for not being able to notice what you've been through. I'd like you to forgive me for that. Of course, I also forgive you for not telling us about it. You couldn't tell me because I wasn't good enough for you. Thought I was trying to be a good leader for you. I guess I wasn't doing my job. It's my fault. So I forgive you for your sin, Reina. Reina, now you have all of our hands. We're all ready for you. It's your turn. Reach out for us. Come to us. This is the world you wanted. You have all of our hands right here for you to reach. So don't hesitate. I'm a murderer. I'll get you guys into trouble. Reina, we are. Rika-chan, you don't need to say anything. We're all reaching for your hand. What else do we need to say or prove? Reina, you don't need to say anything. All you need to do is reach out for us. Come on, Reina. This is real. It's not too late. You still have choices you can make, so choose. You can still make it. Come on. It's not too late to start over again. Reina slowly reached out. Her hand touched ours. She didn't hold our hands. All she needed to do was to touch our hands to show us her will. Reina chose to live, share her life with her friends, rather than to refuse them for the rest of her life. I took a step closer to her, firmly grabbed her wrist. Getting dark, some stars had appeared in the sky. We all forgave each other for our sins for the first time. A little embarrassing. Reina's tears made us all cry. We just kept crying together. We stood in a circle holding each other by the shoulder, putting our heads together in the middle. Our family made of friends. We forgave each other and were happy together. There's a memory in the back of my mind. It's not supposed to exist. I tried to save one of my friends in that world. In order to do that, I rejected all my other friends. I acted recklessly and alone. And I brought about the end of the world. The situation we had here is the same as the incident in that faraway world. The sense that people have been deprived of their lives in order to save one friend of mine. Thank you for the fluid check. But, other than that, it was different. We have Reina, Mion, Totoko, Rika-chan, and myself. Nobody was missing. Going to regain them. We're going to regain those happy and peaceful days. The road going there might be a little rough. We'll walk it together. We all will. Alright. Okay. Obviously they're going off to go, like, dispose of the body as friends. It's I feel like we're close to the end, but we might be close to the end of the chapter or whatever, but I feel like I better, honestly, save it. Yeah, I think you enjoyed that. So, and thanks to, and I hope the folks currently watching on YouTube enjoyed it as well. Pardon my fish diatribes or whatever that I had. I will spare y'all the big one. There may be a little shorter. It'll still be this recording.